Hey everyone, this is David Ellis and I'm here with Amy Kruzik, and today we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Amy, tell us about it.
Okay, today we're going to talk about conventional medicine versus holistic medicine. And what? The weighing of them each?
I think weighing is probably a bad idea. I think the practitioners of both of these um, paths of healing, I think what they do is that they isolate and they go into little cliques and niches, and a lot of them aren't talking to each other. And so today we're going to be having one of those no holds barred kind of conversations, which is not a careful conversation. There will be no trying to hide anything because this is important for public health. And so what we're going to be doing today is examining the pros, the cons, the drawbacks, and the benefits of going to each one of these paths of healing and why they really should be cooperating with each other as opposed to isolating and being all arrogant with themselves. Okay?
Yes, let's do this.
So, Amy, when you hear about conventional medicine, what is it that you think about?
I think of scientific evidence and research that they do that's behind what they believe in, right? So, well, this has research behind it, so you got to believe in this.
The evidence-based approach.
Yeah.
And when you hear about holistic medicine, what do you think of?
I think of more of the whole body, body, mind, and spirit. They look at all that, the emotions, what's going on with you, not just physical. I have a rash. What can I do?
Yeah, I think that's what most people think of when they think about these paths of healing. But here's the thing, guys. That is actually not necessarily the best way to look at it, because I'm going to say this to you guys. A lot of holistic healing is very evidence-based, but it generally does not see the light of day because the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of conventional medicine has co-opted the academic community. And I say this in all earnest because I've been a clinician on both sides of the fence, the conventional and the holistic side. And to be quite honest with you, Amy, a lot of holistic healing is very, very evidence-based. It depends on what you're using as evidence. And then a lot of the conventional medicine does not necessarily always have proof to back it up. Because when a bedside nurse sits by your bedside, bedside, and holds your hand and tells you, we're going to do a procedure, and she's trying to comfort you, and she's utilizing different techniques at that point in time, that's not evidence-based.
No, but it's holistic. It's holistic, isn't it?
Holistic. So that's not evidence-based, right? When you went to the dentist or the doctor and he put a magic spot on your arm before he puts that little magic spot, there's no pain there, and he puts a needle in your arm, right? That is a hypnotherapy. We call it magic spot, the magic spot.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yep. That was back in the day. Dentist giving you a lollipop after you finish a treatment. That is definitely not evidence-based dentistry, okay? Like, it's a lollipop, right? So, to make the kid feel better. These are not evidence-based approaches. And I think a lot of people miss these things. And I think a lot of people have an idea. And I say this on a practitioner's part, whether you're a conventional practitioner or holistic practitioner, the arrogance that you, and it's on both sides, of being, okay, so we don't deal with these other people because they're not evidence-based. And the holistic practitioner says something along the lines of, we don't deal with these other people because they're not holistic enough. They don't deal with the whole body. They just deal with symptoms. This is true. So you ready to get into this?
Yeah. I'm kind of like the one that's on both sides of it.
Yes.
Really.
Here's what I would suggest. I'm going to do a spoiler alert. This is the conclusion that I'm going to come to. If your practitioner is one of those arrogant practitioner that dismisses anything that will actually help you in any way, shape, or form, I don't care whether it's mental, whether it's a placebo effect or whatever, anything that is going to help you get better. If you are going to one of those practitioners, leave that practitioner. If you're going to a conventional medicine practitioner, I don't care if it's a doctor, nurse practitioner, I don't care who it is, and that person derides and says, oh, these holistic therapies, they don't work. Oh, we don't care about them because they're not evidence-based. Leave that practitioner. If you're going to a holistic practitioner on the other side that says you shouldn't go to doctors because they only treat symptoms and we can do everything for you, leave that practitioner.
Yeah.
Leave them. Find somebody else who is balanced and on both sides. That is the conclusion that I would highly suggest if you are a client or a patient. Notice that I'm not putting any filters on anything. I'm talking straight. Today we're not dealing, because you see, public health is not something that should be subject to somebody's ego or arrogance.
Exactly. Okay, so let me just think. Something that came to mind is that the conventional medicine people, they rely on the labs, the lab work. They rely on imaging and other diagnostic tools, right?
Correct.
So you cannot go to a holistic medicine if you have a broken arm, can you?
No, you can't.
You need a cast. You need to set that bone.
Correct. You absolutely need to set that bone because I suppose you would know if your arm is broken, but sometimes you don't because it's a hairline fracture.
Exactly.
But my point is that when that bone is actually set and it's in the cast and it's on the mend and when the cast comes off and so on, you can absolutely go to a holistic practitioner to help you heal quicker than you would normally speaking.
Yes.
So it's a balance of the two. So I want to go through a few things here, and I want to just make some definitions before we start this discussion. So on the conventional side, they rely on evidence-based practice. Now, what does that mean? It means that we put time and effort into science so that the scientific method says that results should be replicable. Okay? So you should be able to get the same result utilizing the same treatment over and over again. So as in a case of a broken arm, if you put a cast on your arm, it heals eventually. If you put a cast on my arm, it heals eventually. Okay? So that's the scientific approach. You can replicate the results. Okay? And evidence-based means that we could see, right, under a microscope that this blood vessel is doing this, and if we put this substance, it's going to do something else. So that's the evidence-based approach. We can see, we know, we can replicate the results. That is the evidence-based approach. The holistic approach tends to treat symptoms as a symptom of a deeper issue, as an example. So as an example, if you had back pain, that could be the result of lifestyle factors. It could be the result of certain kinds of factors that are internal to yourself, including psychosomatic back pain, where people do not feel supported, as an example. Okay? But there is evidence there, because the reason why I'm going to say there's evidence there, because if it is that people get relief, let's say from acupuncture for back pain, lower back pain, and it's repeated over and over again, then guess what? That's a scientific method. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do.
I want to argue on both sides of the fence, and I want to be very balanced because I think I represent both sides of the fence. Okay. And then there's some people that fall in the middle and the cracks, and they don't believe that they fall in the middle of the cracks. So, example, acupuncture, you fall in the middle because you're dealing with hot and cold, and you're dealing with Chinese medicine. Your acupuncturists are not holistic because they actually have associations. They have like evidence-based approaches, but they're not conventional either. So, Amy, let me ask you a question. We're counselors, right? Psychotherapists, where do you think they fall? What is the evidence base there?
Oh, see, I see both sides. It could do, because you're working with the mind, the body, and the spirit. It could fall into holistic, but it also, there can be conventional ways of using counseling.
Yeah, like cognitive behavioral therapy generally tends to work on the mind the same way. Hypnotherapy tends to work on the mind in the same way. You and I are both hypnotherapists, and it's evidence-based because it has been researched, and we see the same effects for most people when hypnotherapy is deployed as a treatment methodology. So
they used to use that. I read somewhere where they used to use the hypnotherapy back in the day when they didn't have anesthesia.
Correct. It's been used for years.
Yeah.
So it is actually evidence-based before they figured out the whole barbiturates thing and how to induce medical comas, etc. My point is that when we're talking about holistic versus conventional, I think the focus should be on patient-client outcomes as opposed to how you feel, your arrogance, your ego. Right? There are many doctors over the years that we've spoken to that dismiss completely any kind of holistic therapy. They are so set in their ways, and these people are actually, I'm going to say it straight, are harmful to public health. They are. You see, I don't care about any consequences for saying this. I mean, it might be on Instagram, we might get banned on Facebook, but I do not care about the consequences of. I could actually say that these people are harmful to public health. Similarly, holistic practitioners who do not believe in conventional medicine, who actually tell people, like some spiritual leaders that I know, who actually tell people, don't go to doctors, if you have cancer, get yourself to a doctor. Absolutely. If your holistic practitioner tells you not to do so, fire that holistic practitioner. Absolutely.
I actually have a story related to that. I had a friend. She was in her 30s, had breast cancer, had a small child, went the holistic way. She's dead. She died. Correct. It was too late before she realized that she needed to do, mastectomy.
Mastectomy, okay.
So that I lived that with her.
Yeah.
Trying to beg with her, like, just, but I couldn't change her mind. And she had a small child.
Yeah. The thing about it is that people tend to believe, and that is the drawback. One of the drawbacks. We're going to do holistic therapies first. The drawback of holistic therapies is that people tend to utilize belief systems in order to resolve whatever issues that are happening with them. So you go to a Reiki practitioner, as an example. The Reiki practitioner, let's say, may have had a couple of months of training. Some people go to a weekend course and come out as first degree or second degree or third degree master Reiki practitioners. And their science, inverted commas, depends largely on co-regulation with their clients. So you have the hands-on healing thing that nurses do.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem with that, it requires a certain amount of belief system. That's, you might say that I'm channeling universal energy, but you can't measure it. You can't measure the dosage of universal energy that's happening. So the Reiki practitioner will tell you something along the lines of, the universe knows the correct dosages to give you. It's all natural and so on. But the truth of the matter is, depending on the illness you have, you absolutely need to know the right dosages of everything you put in your body, as in the case of like a chemotherapy patient.
Mm-hmm.
That is the drawback, a major drawback, because it has a belief system attached to it, and people need to believe a lot of the times and be optimistic and have a good mindset to accept that kind of healing methodology.
Right.
Not everybody has it.
No, and she eventually did, my friend did do the chemotherapy, but it was that belief system of that's poison. I don't want that. That's going to not help me. It's just going to kill everything in my body. And but she did end up doing it. It didn't help, but she gave it a try.
Yeah.
So, but she was too late. Do you see what I mean? It's like it's go to both doctors if you need to. Go see a
Correct.
conventional. Yeah. Go to
Correct.
both and see what they have to say. And then that's when I say merge the two.
Yes, and now I'm going to knock conventional medicine because we're balancing this conversation.
Yeah.
Conventional medicine people, you guys are arrogant. Absolutely. I'm going to say that to you all right now. Okay. These complementary and alternative medicine people, the reason why people go to them is primarily because they have heart in what they're doing. Okay. And I say heart in that you will go to a doctor, I don't know, in North America necessarily, and spend exactly 10 minutes. That man does not know your face.
I know.
That man has sat down with you, he's gotten a list of symptoms, and he's told you, guess what? Take this, that, and that. And y'all overprescribe medication and you all have turned people off. I am going to be very, very, very plain and blunt with you. And I have been a practitioner on your side of the fence as well. So if you all have any complaints, tell it to Jesus here, because I'm going to just let it out. Okay. So you guys have overprescribed a medication for people. Like, people come to y'all with serious mental issues. Y'all don't send them to a holistic practitioner. Y'all don't send them to a counselor. You're going to give them what? Antidepressants. They have problems that they need to resolve. That's not scientific. That's the first complaint that I will have. The second complaint that I will have is that there's a reduction in public trust. You guys need somebody to tell you all this. There's a reduction in public trust, and I'm not going to reference the last 5 years that destroyed families and destroyed public trust in the healthcare system. I'm not going to make a reference to that thing that happened since 2020. I'm not going to make a reference to it. But when it is that y'all got to the stage where y'all are actually utilizing coercion methods along with legislation and the government to get people to put needles in their arms, yeah, y'all destroyed public trust and nobody trusts y'all.
Yep.
I went to the doctor about 2 weeks ago and I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. Okay? And the reason why I don't trust you is when you walk into a doctor's office and you see the advertisements for different kinds of medications that are set up there, knowing that those pharmaceutical companies are paying you to put those advertisements in your practice.
They sure are.
It destroys public trust because it's in your interest to prescribe something to me because you get paid. No public trust.
I think that's very important to say, because some people listen to their doctor. I don't. I say no whenever she tries to push something on me, like pneumonia vaccine or that flu shot, pneumonia. I'm like, no, I'm healthy, so I don't need that. Because they push it, and you can say no. And she was quiet after that. You can say no.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that they can say no.
You
because
can.
because what is happening is that the doctor is trying to push stuff because I want to say something to you guys, and I'm going to knock conventional medicine, and I really don't care who gets upset right now watching this broadcast. Here's the thing. When they go to medical school, it costs a lot of money. They come out with medical tuition bills that they have to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So now they run to the pharmaceutical companies to give them these sweet little deals. So the more they prescribe to you, the quicker they could pay off their student loans. Because medical school is not cheap.
Mm-mm.
Okay? Any kind of medical or paramedical training is not cheap. And so they pass the cost off onto their clients and their patients. Is that wrong? Yeah, it's wrong. It's immoral. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's immoral. It doesn't mean that a lot of healthcare practitioners on the conventional side are not genuine. They got into it for the right reasons. But a lot of y'all have destroyed the public trust. People do not trust you guys anymore. They don't trust y'all.
Yeah.
And that is as plain and straight as I said. And the thing that y'all are pushing medication for things that people can probably heal from, especially there's a reason why there's an opioid epidemic in the US and in North America. Actually, it's all the way in Canada as well. The reason for that has to do with the fact that opioids are actually medical grade drugs for pain that were overprescribed. People got a real liking for it, and people are now black marketing those drugs and so on. And let me tell you, if it's an opioid, it probably got manufactured in a legit lab. So
yeah.
So that is the second thing. The third thing that I'm going to knock conventional medicine for, and I have to say it, is the arrogance and the ego. Y'all don't let people advocate for yourselves. You see what you just said, Amy? You say no. A lot of people don't think that they can say no because what the medical practitioner does, because the man in the white lab coat absolutely has to be right.
Yeah.
He absolutely has to. So a lot of people think that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that way. The man in the white lab coat has to be right. No, actually, sometimes the man in the white lab coat is absolutely wrong. I don't care if he's been to school for 10 years. Sometimes he's actually wrong. And I say this because I have been to a man in a white lab coat when I was younger. I got an injury. This is my personal story. And the man in the white lab coat said, well, we're going to have to operate. We're going to have to get into your back because I injured myself lifting weights. And we're going to have to do some operation on your back. Yeah, I told the man in the white lab coat, no, no, you're not doing that. Then I spent the next 5 to 6 months doing hatha yoga to reform myself. The pain went away. After about a year, I went back after the same weight that hurt me and I lifted it comfortably.
Wow.
So the man in the white lab coat, yeah, most times he's right. A lot of the times they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Especially if you have an issue that involves the mind, go see a counselor. Do not take the medication necessarily. I'm not going to tell you don't take the medication. I'm not going to say that because, somebody on Instagram is going to be whatever, right? But explore your options. Explore your options first before you decide that you're going to go on certain medications that might have you tied to them for life.
Right. And do your research. So you can say to your doctor, thank you for that. I will think about it. And you go do your research and you look at, what is it? The risks involved.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't give you that option because I think I've met a couple of practitioners on the conventional side who scare the bejesus out of patients by the way they actually treat them by saying, "Oh no, if you don't take this, it'll get worse, and you might die." They say things like this, guys. That's what destroys public trust. And the last thing that I'm going to knock you guys for, because I'm going to go on the holistic side just now, so you guys can just wait for this part. The last thing I'm going to knock you guys for is this idea that you guys have that y'all are the gods of healing. You're not.
Yeah.
The father of modern medicine is Hippocrates. He didn't have an MRI machine, all right? He had herbs, he had tonics, right? He suggested therapy, meaning rubbing and massage. He did that thing. You guys are not the gods of healing. You are not. Y'all are facilitators. Y'all don't cure anybody. Y'all facilitate healing. I'm gonna repeat that for the guys in the back. When a doctor says, "Oh, I cured her of her cancer," oh my God, oh, that hurts. When a doctor says he cured anybody of anything, he's lying. What you mean is you made it possible for the person's body to heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you actually mean. Cut the crap. You guys are not the gods of healing. I'm going to be calling you guys out right now, okay? The arrogance has gotten way out of control, so much so that you're going to the government to legislate. And I mean, and I've seen, I read the journals. So what is happening now in a lot of the world, and people don't know, is that they're trying to push certain legislation that would make certain kinds of actions by health bodies mandatory actions. Do I think that's right? No, because then I trust you all even less if you're going that route.
Mm.
I trust you even less.
Yeah.
And now for the holistic side. Amy.
Now for the holistic side.
Yes, because I will go on the holistics. Amy, tell me, have you had bad experiences on the holistic side of healing?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what you mean by that, because what I don't I've never been to holistic so-called, what do they call them, naturopathic doctors?
mm-hmm.
No. But I have done my research and said, these herbs are good for this, and then I look at what medications I take, and if it doesn't work, then I don't take it. So I kind of do my research. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like acupuncturist, infrared.
Oh, that. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I gotcha. Yes.
Have you had any bad experiences?
No.
Okay.
No.
Holistic people, I'm going to give y'all some issues now. Number one, a lot of y'all are specialists. If you studied acupuncture, may I highly suggest that you study counseling. Okay? You're dealing with needles. People don't friggin' like needles, okay? So if you're gonna be dealing with that, study a little bit of counseling to go with that. The problem that I have with holistic practitioners is that they don't read. Okay? Because they want to separate themselves from those bookworms over there with the evidence-based stuff. Right? It's all about the universe. It's all about the forces and so on. No. Sometimes it's about just reading a book. Sometimes it's about just reading a book. And if you are a holistic practitioner, you need to know what the person's doctor is doing so that you don't contraindicate by your treatment methodology or your suggestions what that doctor is doing. And a lot of people do not do that. A lot of holistic practitioners are underinformed about conventional medicine. They don't know what the drugs and their effects are. Okay? So if you are a nutritionist, and nutritionist is not really holistic, it's evidence-based, but if you are a holistic nutritionist, let's say, put it that way, and somebody comes to you, you need to know at what stage of the cancer treatment you can recommend chemotherapy at what stage of the cancer treatment you could recommend turmeric, because at certain stages it will counteract what the doctor is doing. A lot of people don't know that, but then you would need to read to find that out. Okay? So when you're recommending stuff for people, you need to actually have read the literature on what it is that is applied in certain situations. I want you guys to listen to these things and be aware of them, because the truth of the matter is that a lot of holistic practitioners are underinformed. They don't read, they don't know, and so on. And then there's some holistic practitioners that says, "Oh, well, we're out of that because we're doing stuff like Reiki, energy healing."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even massage therapy can be contraindicated depending on the kind of massage therapy, especially in situations where cancer is involved. I suspect you might not want to deep tissue certain parts of people's bodies when they have cancer. I'm just going to just
Right.
right. I'm just going to say that. But they would tell you that they have cancer. And if you don't know and you didn't read, then you will do what you think you should do, which would probably be the wrong thing. And you would actually help a disease as opposed to fight it.
Okay.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, I think a lot of holistic practitioners are they're so insular. For the people that are doing energy healing and so on, and you think, well, that isn't going to contraindicate anything because I'm not actually touching anybody. I'm just using energy healing and so on. No, there are certain situations where even energy healing may be contraindicated.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
new to me. That is new to me. So here's my question to the holistic, like massage therapist and acupuncturist and all that. What about their... Okay, so let's say you come into my office and, oh, you have an intake form, right? So do you have, list your medications you're on? Okay. So let's say they listed him, but that day you didn't do your research on those particular... I know, but I'm just, so you didn't do, your research on it. So maybe the intake form needs to be done before you come into the office so that you can say, okay, this person's taking this. I might not be able to do this piece of acupuncture needle on this particular area of the body. Okay, does that make sense, or am I making no sense?
No, you're absolutely correct. Can you imagine somebody rolling up to your practice, all right, and you're doing an intake form 5 minutes before? How many practitioners actually read that intake form, first of all, and how many people know what's on the intake form? So somebody comes to you with a particular rare disease that you know nothing about. Do not treat that person at that particular point in time. Tell that person that they can come back another time so that you could research and understand what is contraindicated or not, especially if you're a massage therapist, especially if you're an acupuncturist, right? And I understand that you're surprised as to what could be contraindicated when it is energy healing is prescribed or somebody is using energy healing. What if the person has a fear of touch?
Yeah.
What if the person has a fear of touch?
Yeah.
Right? That is a real thing with a lot of people, okay?
Well, then you'd wonder why they're going to massage therapist. I don't know. If I didn't like touch, I wouldn't go. But maybe they're trying to slowly, be okay with touch.
Okay, that would be the deep end of the pool because you're going to get touched everywhere.
Yeah, you are.
If it's a Reiki practitioner that actually does the hands-on, if you go to one of those Christian holistic practitioners, you're going to get touched everywhere. That would be the deep end of the pool. So, no. I think a lot of people tend to think that energy healing will help. And it will help for a number of things. The problem with holistic practitioners and energy healers, when it is that they are in practice, is that people tend to think of energy healers right, as having a kind of power, right, that transcends the body, the corporeal body, and so on. Okay,
Yeah.
they have a kind of power that transcends X, Y, and Z. So my question to you guys is, if you're watching this, what about distance healing?
What about it?
So where are you right now, Amy?
Pennsylvania?
And I'm in Canada. So
Yeah.
I am going to sit down and let you know a time that you're gonna sit down, and I'm gonna transmit healing to you. The reason why people have an issue with this, obviously, is, are we FedExing healing nowadays? Like, are we gonna send it intercontinental? Like, how does that work, right? And my response, if I was a holistic practitioner or a Reiki practitioner second degree, would be something along the lines of, you prayed for your mother lately? What is the difference, right?
Ah,
So the other thing that I have against holistic practitioners, they don't explain themselves well.
got it. Yeah, that's true.
They don't explain themselves well. They have an explanation issue, because if you're going to explain energy healing to somebody, let's not go up into the stars and talk about the cosmos and the orbs and so on. These are regular people coming to you for healing. Speak at their level. Stop speaking in terms of, oh, the spirals and the heavens and the orbs that are swirling around and the angels and the demons and the dragons and stuff like that. You know what? Just break it down for people so that they understand. And then you're going to say something to me like, well, they knew what they were coming into when they walked into my office. No, that's an arrogant perspective.
Yeah. Can I ask you, are you dissing distant Reiki? Are you
No, I am actually promoting distance Reiki,
distant?
because if you can sit down in Pennsylvania and pray for your mother in Ohio, as an example,
Yeah,
then how is it different when a Christian does it than when somebody who is a Reiki practitioner, who spent some time
got it.
getting their flow together, their internal systems together, their meditative and trance work together? How is it different when the Reiki practitioner does it than when the Christian doctor who goes to church on Sunday sits down and kneels down in the Catholic Church and prays for his mother in Ohio? Okay, you're still sending healing to that person. So it's the same thing. So
Got it.
what
I thought I got confused a little bit on what you were saying, but
no,
I
this, but the truth of the complaint that I have is that, guess what? When you're explaining distance healing to people, could you please not confuse people?
yeah.
Because at the bottom of it is intentionality, and if you just explain that this is intentionality, this is an intentional healing system, a lot of holistic practitioners don't do that.
No. Because people think, "Oh, distant healing, she's a Reiki master. He's a Reiki." They trust in just that title.
Yeah, belief.
Belief in that title. Then that means all Reiki masters are good at what they do. No. All doctors are good at what they do?
No.
No. No.
Nope.
So I was raised to respect doctors, raised to respect teachers, raised to respect, but I put them all in one. All the teachers are good. All the teachers, no, they weren't. No. And not all doctors are great. How many doctors I've not gone back to because nope, that guy, no. He's not
You
my
you want to know why you didn't go back to them? Because their energy was off.
yes. Yes.
And we're back to the holistic
We're
construct.
back.
Because a lot of the reasons doctors lose patients and clients is because they don't vibe with them, because of the energy was off, right? Those things that they make fun of is exactly why they will lose clients. And that's
Yeah.
exactly why people will not trust them, because if I don't vibe with you and I don't connect with you, and I'm not going to trust you.
Exactly. And you have to build a relationship. I've built a relationship with my doctor over the years, and I can email her anything, any symptoms I'm having, and she gets back to me. Like, she knows me. She knows me now because I built this relationship.
Yes, a lot of doctors can act like holistic practitioners. A doctor who spends 10 minutes with you, spins you out of his office with a prescription. Doctor who will stay half an hour with you and
Yeah.
talk to you and ask you what's going on with you. Are you in good health? Are you in good mental health? That doctor may not be a psychiatrist or whatever else, but he's genuinely interested, right? That doctor is a good doctor.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, it
showing
took me a
care.
while. It took me a while to find her, but she spends a half an hour with me. And for my yearly exams, she
Mhm.
spends a half an hour. It's like when she walks in, there's no time. She has all the time in the world.
Yes, because she's not struggling and trying to fight to pay her medical tuition bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a woman that is secure in her practice.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to go try to find these. I wish we had a directory of caring doctors. But while we're on the subject, let's deal with the pharmacies as well. Oh my God, what the hell is the worst thing that happened to our society is that we got rid of the apothecaries,
Mm-hmm.
and where you walked into that establishment, and it usually was a mom and pop shop, and that apothecary, the person who would actually mix your tonics and stuff right there and then in front of
Mm-hmm.
you, have a conversation with you about your how are you going, how this medication is working for you, and so that's the worst thing. So now we have pharmacies. Oh my God,
Yeah.
guys.
Have you ever walked into a farm? When I go pick up my medication, tons of bags to be picked up from people. I mean, I'm talking tons of bags of prescriptions. It's like, wow. I'm always amazed at like, wow.
Let's not forget that if you go to some naturopaths, you're coming out with tons of vitamins and
Uh,
minerals.
exactly. They do the
Right?
same thing. They
They're
do the
doing the
same.
same thing now. I
They
mean,
are.
like naturopaths. Let's have a discussion here.
Yeah, let's do because you know what? I've done that. I've come out. She said that I'm supposed to take these. Okay. Hundreds of dollars. Okay.
Like naturopaths, let's have a discussion here. You guys know that what y'all are doing is unethical, right? Some of y'all are unethical. Some of y'all, and I see a lot of y'all are caring, a lot of y'all got into for the right reasons, but a patient comes to you and they come out with $700 to $1,000 worth of vitamins. I'm a nutritionist,
I know.
so let me tell you something. I have never suggested ever in my entire practice, and I've been a nutritionist since 1997. I've never suggested anything where somebody would rack up $1,000 US bill. All right. Ever in my entire career. I am like, how are y'all doing this? How are y'all doing this? With a straight face, actually. $700 worth of vitamins, right? Guys, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Right? How about food? Food is good. The
Start
things that are
there.
in the vitamins, they're in the food too.
There.
The problem is that food is not what it used to be. We've already said that, and some food is now toxic. They're spraying stuff all over the food and so on. But you're never going to replace food with vitamins. You're not going to do so. And then I think part of the reason, Amy, that people come out with $1,000 prescriptions is because they're trying to return them to complete health. You are never in complete health.
Yeah, explain that to people.
For those of you who are listening to this broadcast right now, there's never ever going to be a time when you are going to be in 100% complete health. Ever. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If I returned you to 100% health with your $1,000 vitamins, as an example, as soon as you step outside, your health level will drop. Okay? From 100% to probably 97%. Probably a lot more, right? Because pathogens are all around you, waiting to kill you. The environment has toxins around it, all around you, waiting to kill you. You are never going to be 100% completely healthy. That is a false notion perpetuated, and in the minds of people and practitioners alike, you're not going to be in 100% health. Okay? If you were in 100% health, that good for you, but you're not going to be. You're not going to stay that way. So come to terms with that fact, because the $1,000 bag of vitamins, you popping pills like
I know. Every hour on the hour,
listen,
take him throughout the day.
A friend of mine went to a naturopath, came out with $1,000. Like they actually needed a shopping bag to carry.
Oh gosh.
One of the Walmart bags.
Yes.
Well, they actually needed a Walmart bag. So I listen. She came to my office before going home with the $1,000 bag, and I'm like, if you take all of these, you're not going to need food because you won't have any space in your stomach.
Oh God.
You won't have any space in your stomach to
Yes.
for anything else. Like what are you going to be eating after this? Apples? Because that's all you'll have space for. And I'm like, which naturopath did this to you? Like, eat some food instead. I know food is bad, but there's organic food to be had and so on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say to you guys, no, I'm going to knock the naturopaths. Guys, if you're filling people's bags up with stuff, unless it is that they have some dire illness and so on, I think this is a new phenomenon that I haven't seen for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
The pharmacist, wow, talk about depersonalization of an industry. So pharmacy needs you to be sick to buy drugs. Okay. So when it is that you see the drug commercials on television and you hear the list of side effects, which you will need benefit. Amy, I was watching a commercial and a side effect was sudden death. Well, that's
why would I take that?
That's not sudden death, right? Is might be a side effect in a little percentage of the population. When they list the side effects, well, these are side effects that you might need medication for. So it'll keep you on the gravy train of medication.
Okay, wait. I got a question on that, because isn't it cover their asses to put every list of effects on there? Because maybe one person had sudden death, and so now they have to put it on there to cover themselves.
Granted, but sudden death is not a side effect. That would be game over.
Well, yeah.
That is hilarious.
But they're still prescribing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have something. Oh, this is migraine medication, right? But then the side effects are worse than the migraine. Just give me the migraine. I'm good.
I know. Yeah.
The side effects are worse. You might lose control of your bladder or your bowels.
Yeah.
In the middle of a supermarket. Like, give me the migraine, please. Okay.
Do you know there was one medication? I think it was for muscle relaxer for idaspasm, right? And it was it hurt. It was like, oh my God. Okay. It said may cause hallucinations.
Okay, that's not a side effect.
I'm like, I am not taking this. I am not taking this. So I found something that,
how many fingers I have up?
Four.
Do you see fingers or do you see worms? Listen.
No, I did not. And I found a solution, and they're actually called salon paws that you put on the area with lidocaine. So I think, like that. So that I had to research that. Like, what else can I do for a muscle spasm?
Yeah, this is very, very interesting, because a lot of people go to the pharmacy because they think they have no choice.
Yeah.
A lot of the times they do have a choice, but they didn't research it. They don't get second opinions. They just go to the pharmacy because the doctor sent them there, because the doctor has a loan to pay, etc., etc. We're
Yeah.
exposing all the things. I'm going to just say, to round off this whole conversation, the good things about both sides of the
Yes,
equation.
let's do that because I like both sides.
I like both sides too. They're absolutely necessary for the for the conventional medicine. You guys are doing your best, and y'all are providing evidence-based medicine for people.
Yeah.
I love the fact that when you meet a good doctor, you're not only meeting a good doctor, you're meeting a good person.
Yeah.
When you meet a good doctor, I think that the conventional medicine model is overwhelmed with a lot of people. Nurses, especially in hospitals, are strung out. They don't catch a break anywhere. And I want to shout out to the nurses out there,
Yeah.
because y'all do an excellent job of bridging the gap between this harsh conventional approach and the caring approach. Okay,
Yes, they
so
do.
shout out to all the nurses out
Yep.
there. I want to also say that in terms of conventional medicine, if we did not have it, we have moved medicine. People are living longer, they're living fuller lives, and so on.
Yeah.
So
I'm
conventional
actually proof
medicine,
of that. I'm
yep,
proof of that. Otherwise, I would not be here if it wasn't for conventional medicine.
correct, right?
Right.
So props to conventional medicine. Props to the evidence-based approach methodology, because honestly speaking, because of this, you saved a lot of lives,
Yeah.
thousands of lives.
Yep.
On the holistic side, there are not enough holistic practitioners for the population. Conventional medicine cannot do it alone. Absolutely, they can't. They need the complementary side, because we actually nurture a lot of the population. Okay, and I say nurture the population because a doctor probably can't spend an hour talking to a client, but we can absolutely do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Holistic medicine have given people a reason to believe in healing again. A lot of the holistic practitioners give people hope when they feel like they have no hope.
Mm-hmm.
I have read a lot of biographies of people who have had cancer who came back and kept fighting because the holistic practitioner told them that there is hope.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with your demons, forgive, let go
Mm-hmm.
of things, right? And they had a reason to continue living. Okay, and that the desire to be healthy, the desire to continue healing is a very, very important part of the health process. Okay, as a friend of mine would say, you have to have a strong reason to live,
Yeah.
to beat things like cancer, as an example.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to really give props to the holistic practitioners, because you guys are doing a service, and the load that you guys carry is very high. I've seen holistic practitioners really care for their clients, really care.
Yeah. Me too.
And if you're a holistic practitioner, you are 100% dedicated to client patient outcome,
And
right?
also to the holistic, don't be afraid to say, look, I don't know if I can help you, especially if you have an acute or life-threatening condition.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you need the conventional medicine. And be brave in saying, I don't know if I can help you with this.
Correct.
Maybe go first see your conventional, your doctor first, and then we can see what we can do.
I think the best thing that can happen in terms of public health is that every holistic practitioner has a doctor that they can trust. Every doctor
Yeah.
has a holistic practitioner who they know is going to read the stuff, who's well trained, and so on, and a referral network set up, which is what we're doing here with the Integrative Health Network. So if you
Mm-hmm.
guys need a referral for like a cancer coach or a doctor, Amy and I would know people, or holistic practitioner, depending on where you are. So just reach out
Yep.
at info@unifiedhealthsystems.com or Pink Moon Lodge podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
and we can hook you up with somebody who we know is going to actually care
Yeah, we
deeply.
do. We know a lot of people.
We know a lot of people who's going to care deeply about you, and especially if you're in the Regina area and so on. I know a lot of people whose heart is completely in it, both on the conventional side and on the holistic side. So reach out to us if you are unsure about where to go in certain situations. For public health, I hope that everybody who's watching this podcast, whether you all hate us at the end of this podcast or not, took something from this podcast, because what we're trying to do is actually speak plain and truth to people with transparency. These are the drawbacks. These are the pros and cons of going to certain kinds of practitioners. And this is what you can expect. And this is what you should really stay away from, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Like, be your own, advocate, right?
correct.
Yeah. Be your own advocate. And you can say no. I'll think about it.
Yes, be your own advocate. And if you think that somebody's trying to push drugs on you like a drug dealer, or somebody's trying to push a certain kind of methodology on you, or somebody's so arrogant and say, oh, don't do that, these people don't know what they're doing, or any of
Yeah.
that, or you have one of those negative practitioners, guys, your health is more important than anyone's ego. Okay? Remember that.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we've come to the end of our broadcast. Amy, give these people a way of getting in touch with you.
Okay, so you can join our social platform with David and I at the UCM community at community.universalcitizentv.com. We'd love to see you over there. We have resources and meditations, and David's building so many AI tools and software. Aren't you, David?
Yes, I'm actually building an AI tool that is going to spit out meal plans and tell you what's contraindicated and indicated for certain kinds of conditions. So that is coming,
Yeah.
and I will be releasing that as well. And for the academics out there who are in the medical profession and so on, I'm going to be releasing a tool that was going to help you with your citation when you want to cite certain sources and stuff like that. I'm going to be releasing a tool for you guys as well on both sides. So I am very excited about that. Amy, this has been a
Yeah.
pleasure as usual.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
All right, take
Take
care. See
care.
you guys later.
Bye.